11-22. Stanford as an independent makes sense. Even Cal as an independent, would you not think makes sense? And I still think Oregon and Washington will be a part of the attachment to the Big Ten, and then possibly we would think Stanford and Cal have to be a part of that discussion too.
Yeah, I think about, last year when we were trying to figure out if the Big 12 was going to collapse, like where everybody kind of fit in. The ones you don't really fit in anywhere would be the Oregon State and Washington State, because they're kind of out there and they're not very big schools and all that, but they, there's, you never know what's going to happen. It was kind of like where do you put Kansas State and Iowa State if the Big Ten didn't want them, and those kind of theories that were out there last year. But yeah, the Big 12 has options. Like everybody has options. The Pac-12 seems to have less and less. And if Washington and Oregon pick up the phone today and ask USC who their contact is at the Big Ten and say we'd like to get on this, I don't see the Big Ten turning them down.
Guys, those calls have already been made.
Exactly.
Look at today. I mean, alliance. What was the alliance? Well, the alliance was being made. People who were helping make the alliance were crafting the plans for today.
Just like
the Big 12. Yeah. So, that's all already going on. I don't think that, Washington woke up today and was like, well, wait a second, what? I think those calls and those conversations, much like with OU and Texas's people and whoever they were dealing with in the SEC, I think those are, how long? My question is, how long have they been going on? How many meetings have happened in the Pac-12 where people have shook hands and smiled and said, hey, the future's bright, and just were lying to each other the entire time? Because that's what was happening in the Big 12. But, yeah, man, the departure from just a year ago and the feeling the Big 12 had, they've basically just taken it, moved it, and placed it on the shoulders of the Pac-12. And now the Pac-12, would love to have cared enough to have identified maybe the most obnoxious Pac-12 fan during the Big 12's struggle there. Who really went out of their way to be a D-head about it and talk about the conference dying of all that? Where's that guy today? Where is that guy's Twitter? I want to see that Twitter, because shoes on the other foot, buddy. I see there was a count a second ago talking about, this big mutated conference of the Big 12 Pac whatever conference. The Big 12, if you're the Big 12 right now, you're somebody who's got, a lot more bargaining power all of a sudden, but I mean, you get to pick and choose who you really want to bargain with. A lot depends on what the Big Ten may also still be taking and what the SEC might also be involved in taking, because I definitely believe that they're not sitting on their hands. I'm sure they've got a chess move that's two, moves down that we're not even thinking of just yet, because all of these have clearly been talked about and were going on. And so we thought it was done. I saw Stuart Mandel make this comment of, he had a recent tweet, last year's Texas OU bombshell wound up having minimal ripple effects. Today's USC UCLA shocker feels more like the dam just broke. It's a Big Ten SEC world now. What are you talking about? The ripple effects are still being felt from Texas and Oklahoma. That's what started the ripple to begin with.
This is a reaction to it, yeah.
What are you talking about? Minimal effects? Minimal effects, how many conferences just completely changed over? They're just not the conferences that you choose to cover. They're not the big conferences, but look underneath the Power 5. How much changeover was there as a result of the Big 12? A freaking ton, man. A freaking ton. And now you have a move like today. This move wasn't just out of the blue. This move's, absolutely just a following chapter to what happened last summer, a year later. So, I don't know. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's still the ripples being effect from the big bomb that was dropped last year when Brett Zorneman decided to just shake the entire college football world, awake or what. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, what that was, that reaction to Brett Zorneman's report. But that same feeling's being felt today, that's for sure.
Well, we appreciate you. Nearly 1,500